Hello everyone, and today we're gonna be doing another episode of Hansa's TV. So the last time I did something like this, it was back in like February when the rework hadn't hit. So obviously between then and now the rework has hit, and yet it's taken some time to practice the new carrier system. And yeah, so far it's been pretty fun. So today I'm going to be showing you guys kind of like a try-hard game that I had the other day. It was actually yesterday. So it was a really hard-fought game. It goes really down to the wire, where for a portion of the game I thought that there's no way that we could win, and then we somehow miraculously pull a win. So yeah, let's see this. So we start off with a Tiny Tim attack on this Montana. So I usually start with Tiny Tims to try and get an early fire. And yeah, so it also helps in scouting, so like I can see what is alone, what I can strike, where all the battleships are, where all the anti-air cruisers are. So yeah, it just generally helps with spotting. So I'm going to launch another flight to see if I can get another fire on this Montana once he DCPs, which usually most people do. And we are playing against one of the top Audacious players. This guy actually has 180,000 average damage in his Audacious, which is frankly like amazing. Like, that's a scary number. So yeah, I didn't expect this Minotaur to be here. I thought he would be down south, so I end up running into him. Only take 1,000 damage from there. I can disengage behind this island, and it's not too big a deal. And let's continue. So we're gonna try and find this. I think it was the Amagi. Yeah, it was an Amagi. The enemy Audacious is going for a strike on the Montana, maybe? I think our Kerr first is AFK. It's like, I have no clue what he's doing down there. The fight mostly looks down at sea, so I'm probably gonna start moving north here momentarily. And yeah, let's see if we can get another run on this Montana. His first fire did run out, so yeah, let's see if we can relight him. We use our fighters on that monster because he is lone, and he's most likely going to get focused since he's stationary. And yeah, we use the island to get in and boost into Montana's anti-air. Let's see, and we get a fire and 8,000 damage. Not bad. So now we're up to about 30,000 damage, and our team still has the health advantage, although this flank doesn't look too great. Our Chengmu is probably going to die in the north, unless our Des Moines has godly aim. So the RZ-52 dies to their gearing down in south. Our Shimikaze looks like he's running, and yeah, this game doesn't look too great to start off with. We're already down one ship. The Shimikaze is about to grab Cap C, which is pretty good for us, unless the Kitakaze and the Gearing swing around and stop it. And right now we have our torpedo planes up in the air to try and go for a strike on the Montana. Since these two battleships are alone, I see this Shapayev is grounded. I go for him instead. The reason I went on this flank and not up in the north is because there is a Minotaur, and even though torpedo planes can fly under flak, Minotaur's continuous AA is just way too high to support going over there and trying to get the Amagi, even though he may be a better target if he was with anything other than a Minotaur. So we do get 4 or torpedo hits until we have to bug off because, yeah, anti-air. Actually leave the Chapayev on 28 health, which is mildly annoying, but I mean, it's all for a win. I'm not really too much about damage farming. I find that damage comes more naturally if you play to win. So we relaunch our Tiny Tims to see if we can get this kill on the Chapayev, since nobody seems to be shooting him so far, and he's probably going to get torped and die. Our Shimikaze has good torpedo prediction, and yeah, there he goes. And I guess we'll just go for this Montana. He did take a torp, and he's going to ground on Chapaya's wreck. And 9,000 damage, not bad. Even though we didn't get a fire, it's going to boost out of there, use the island to disengage, and call them back. And our Cur first, who the hell knows what he's saying. It's going to get torped. Doesn't really matter since he's being pretty useless here anyway. I'm getting shot. And maybe if this Cur first can sail closer to me, it'll be I can protect him with my anti-air. Our Mossel is actually doing a pretty good job of getting side shots from here. And yeah, let's go for another run on this Montana. This is more or less of a suicide run since our planes don't really have like the greatest escape route through this sector here, so they're more or less going to die unless I can get them out from the other side, take kind of a hit from the battleships. And I don't remember if I used my heal here. No, I do not. So yeah, I go into attack run mode so I can conserve my planes, because as you know, when you go into attack run mode, your planes automatically fly under flak. So yeah, there's 8 torpedo hits right there. And the enemy Z-52 gets a double strike. There goes our Fletcher and our Charles Martel. So there's that. So yeah, it's looking pretty crappy right now. We have only one cap, but that's being contested by a Z-52, and Des Moines, who is like 5 kilometers from that Z-52, like is chasing a Kitakaze. So there's that. We're down by 2 kills. Make that one. And let's see if we can relight another fire on this Montana, since I do think that he damage controlled the crit that we got in him with the torpedo. I do not remember. And there's the fire. And 8,000 damage. Not bad. And I think the Minotaur has moved away from there. He's probably in the around like B3 area so far. Our Des Moines is getting carpet bombed. Nothing really much I can do about there, because if I try and drop fighters around him during their circle path, they're going to go over to the Minotaur and get shot down. So the better choice is probably going to be to dive bomb these Montana, since the first Montana is seems to be running away. So I can bomb them in succession. So I can use the immunity to catapult myself over to the second Montana as well. So they are the most ideal targets as of now. And the first Montana is healing. He might take... no, he's not. And shells coming in. Oh, he takes a big hit. So yeah, we can probably finish him off this run. Just doing some flak dodging and going for the drop. 9k health Montana. He's turning out. Superstructure isn't really saturated, so we are going to kill him. And then we can loop around, use the immunity to catapult over to the second Montana. He's 40k health. We can probably burn him down if our planes can make it through the continuous AA. His superstructure is not saturated at all, so we get some good hits. 2 of them hit the turrets, so there's that. We can go around for one last run before we are gonna have to call them back. Since yeah. Do we make this last run? We should. And there we go, 2 hits. It's okay, not great. A is completely uncontested. I have no clue what this Curfus and Montana are doing. Our south flank is falling. We've pretty much no map control, and yeah. The enemy Audacious has, let's see, he has 1 kill. We also have 1 kill. The enemy has 2 destroyers, and we have 1. And that's the Shimakaze. Let's see. We can probably dive bomb this Montana, even though the Audacious is moving up on close to the Montana, so they will probably get shredded. So I'm probably making a suicide run right now by doing this. Cleveland is close by. Cleveland's take a lot of damage from high explosive, so why not? Let's do it. Oh, and can we get this kill? 1,000. Awesome. There's 1 kill, and enemy CV did drop fighters, and there is the Audacious. So we are probably not going to make this run yet. Fighters engage, and we go up trying to save our last planes. And one drop, nah, it should have clicked earlier there. Now this Minotaur is probably gonna, oh, Arashima gets a double strike on both their destroyers. Double strike on both their destroyers, that's awesome. That's absolutely amazing. Good job to Arashima. This Minotaur is probably gonna loop, yeah he is, he's capping A right now. And there goes our only cap, and our Kurfürst is still like 1 kilometer away from me. I can drop my fighters next to this Montana. And this Minotaur is trying to spam me from the smoke. That's not going to work because I have an armored deck. And the rest of my ship is 19 millimeters. So that's important because Midway's hull gets overmatched by everything but the Worcester and the Minotaur. So like, yeah, you can see he's doing minimal damage to me. We're pretty much immune to his fire, apart from like the occasional 500,000 damage. And so yeah, now that this Montana has kind of moved away from the Audacious and the Minotaur is in A, we can probably go for it. We might run into the Minotaur's AA bubble if we go over this island. Maybe, oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, we can use the island to boost away. The Audacious drops fighters, but they're nowhere near the Montana, so we can just go around them. And right now, Arashima needs to get to C. We need the caps, or else we're going to lose in like 3 minutes. We are up to 122,000 damage so far. We're actually ahead by 2 kills, thanks to Arashima. I take quite a bit of damage going in for this drop. Not bad. He might burn down from this though. No, he DCPs. Maybe we can get another drop on him. Probably not. By the rate they're dying, yeah, we're not. If I can go in with tiny tints, yeah, this Minotaur is still spamming me and missing. Like, the better target would be this Kurfürst, because like he has a superstructure that is penable, unlike me. So yeah, I launch my rocket planes to see if I can kill this Montana, but then he dies, and they don't have fighters, and I want to put fighters over this Kurfürst because he needs to cap A. So I spawn my torpedo planes because they are the ones who actually have fighters on them still. And I'm going to try and get this Minotaur out of his smoke through my torpedo planes. This is probably like suicide for my planes because, well, Minotaur. And let's see, GK shells going in and they absolutely delete him, so that's awesome. Let's see. So when we started this engagement, we were at 47,000 health. So over the period of, what, 4 minutes, this Minotaur has done like 5,000 damage to us. Probably not the best use of his time. So at this point we are 2 minutes and 45 seconds from losing. They do have all caps and we are at a 200 point disadvantage. So if we have any chance of winning, we need to get those caps. Thankfully our Gross Kurfürst is in a position to get A. The only person alive is just Adapt. So our Montana is heading to B. Arashima is going for C. He is getting rocketed, but he's pretty healthy. I'm not too worried about that, even though Audacious rockets are pretty stupid. We actually do have 1 million potential damage so far. And Audacious actually does not have an armored deck. It's just an armored strip. So if you can aim for the superstructure, for the back of the hull, for the front of the hull, and like the front and aft of the deck, you can actually pen it with like Midway's high explosive dive bombers, tiny tins. At this point, we are running out of those. So our only full squad left is our torpedo bombers, which we are using. They're probably going to be the most effective against this Audacious. So I go to pop fighters over this Kurfürst because he is low health. One squadron from the Audacious will kill him. So we need to protect him because we need that A cap, obviously. Our Shimakaze did die to those rockets. And C is still ticking, but our Montana is probably fast enough to get there before we lose the game, because now it will take them 4 minutes and 30 seconds to win. So Audacious does have fighters over himself. It looks like he is stationary. Yeah, you can see my fighters. My putting fighters there was crucial to shooting down the Audacious's planes, which would have otherwise killed the Kurfürst, no problem. because my AA range does not extend up that far. So this Audacious is trying to protect himself by putting multiple fires. Unfortunately, our aggressive Kerfist does flood out. This would have been a problem, but fortunately I did decide to move up behind him to give him anti-air support, but yeah, he like got a bit too aggressive. But the good side of that is that I am in a position to cap A. Our Montana, who is pretty healthy, he like almost full health, he can cap C, and that will mean that we have all the caps. So unless they kill somebody, unless they kill me actually, we should still be in a good position to win just by killing them. We're up to 144,000 damage so far, and I'm communicating to my team that you guys need to kill him, and I'll spot him. This North Carolina is probably going to die if he keeps under this concentrated fire from the Audacious, since North Carolina armor isn't exactly the best, and Audacious's bombs can pen 32mm that is found on the North Carolina. So yeah, we're almost done capping A, and I'm just going to keep on spotting this Audacious. I don't want to go in for an attack run on him, because that's going to make me lose spotting. You can see this Montana is going to do way more damage than I can. Like he just did 20k to this Audacious, whereas I would have done like what, 8k maybe. So yeah, it's really not, like, damage farming here is not a good idea if I want to win. So yeah, speaking of which, we are up to 144,000 damage so far, and I know that this North Carolina is going to die sooner or later, so I'm heading down into B. So in case this North Carolina dies, I will be protecting B, and maybe if he keeps going in my direction, I can provide him AA cover. So yeah, this Audacious is on 6,000 health. We can probably finish him off. So yeah, I think after this one I go in for a drop because he is so low. Montana shots coming in. That should kill him. And barely, and almost kill him. 1.5 thousand, yeah, whatever. Game's won, let's go in. And here comes the drop. Fighters engage, but they can't do it, they can't stop me in time. 1,577, and that is a win. Alright. And that is it for this episode of Audacious TV. Thank you for watching, and have a great